we're on.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that, they don't have one of those downstairs. Oh, I guess we are.
Oh, we can see ourselves.
Yeah, it's not exciting.
It's scary. Oh, I've never opened it. Do you want to open it?
You're the chair, so you're welcome.
I wish I'd listened more, Sherry does.
Just read the agenda.
Just open the meeting, this is not a hearing.
Oh, that's right. I'm opening the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals on the case of discussion for Kimball Village, Farm Village, 40B. And we have a request. Do we have a request for an extension?
You have both.
We have both a request for an extension.
And a
a
vote
request-
for a determination that would utilize the permit. If you're not done with your introduction, then I'll let you do that.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So as a preliminary matter, Robert Ansel for Kimball Farm Village on the Common. Mr. Kimball has gone to Florida, so he couldn't be here this evening. We were here at the request of the Zoning Board of Appeals in the second week.
Can I interrupt you for a second? I forgot to do something. I apologize. At our last meeting, Mr. Kimball's counsel brought up the question of a conflict of interest, which caused the delay of the meeting till this evening. Mr. Kimball was in the process of buying a piece of property that is not near the subject property, it's not adjacent to it, it's a couple miles away on the other side of town, but that piece of property was represented by my company. We did not represent Mr. Kimball, we represented the seller of the company. We were not paid by Mr. Kimball, and town council has researched it and believes there is no conflict of interest. I have filed the appropriate paperwork saying that there is, why we believe there is no conflict of interest, but I want to recognize Mr. Kimball's concerns that there might have been a conflict of interest. And in any case, that property has now passed papers, and there is no current dealings between my company and Mr. Kimball.
Okay, and you should also appoint Mark as a voting member today.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Mark Saucier is our only alternate able to be here this evening, and he is appointed on this member. You do need all 4 votes because there's only 4 of us, so you need a unanimous decision from us. Yes?
I don't believe that's accurate. I think a majority of there's no supermajority requirement for a comprehensive permit,
Okay.
unlike a variance or a special permit.
Okay, thank
So a simple majority of those in attendance this evening will be sufficient.
Also, I should introduce our attorney Chris Heath is here to help us and keep us on the straight and narrow with this complicated project.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so
Do I introduce Mr. Bergman too?
Sure.
Keith Bergman, Town Administrator, here, and also Selectman
Mr.
Joe
Knox?
Knox is here tonight, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to make sure that I get a copy of whatever was filed with the town relative to the conflict of interest issue. I don't need it right now, but thank you. That issue is still outstanding from our side, but I understand that you have spoken to town council about it, and I have as well spoken to town council about the issue. So I'm well aware of what your position is, and I don't think that it's worthwhile belaboring the point, so we'll go on. We are here tonight on a request. We were asked to come in on December 15th by the board to request an extension under our permit in order to determine what the status of the permit was. We did not schedule this hearing. The ZBA scheduled the hearing. It's our position that...
Meeting, not a hearing.
It's not a hearing.
Excuse
Yeah.
me. We did not request you to come in. We requested you to report to us in June. We did not request you to report to us in December.
your administrator?
I sent him an email saying that his permit was expiring December 31st. And our meeting was December 15th,
And then my attendance was required. I asked for an extension of that hearing because I was out of the country. You couldn't accommodate my schedule because you meet once a month, which is totally acceptable, and so we are here today. We are here, my view is that the Zoning Board of Appeals has two options, and then I'll get to where we are at. I'm certainly welcome to have Mr. Heap chime in on this. One is that the Zoning Board of Appeals could grant another extension of the comprehensive permit that, to the extent that that is necessary, or in the alternative, you can make a determination that we've satisfied the legal standard of substantial completion under the terms of our permit. You're looking,
No, I do, sorry.
okay, so that's where we are at. I had a discussion with Mr. Heap. He called me and said, will you provide us with a summary of what activities have gone on during the course of 2016. That discussion occurred on December 20th. I responded by writing a letter on December 22nd, which the board members have been provided with a packet of what has happened. By way of background, substantial completion under a legal standard means that you need to utilize the permit. And in this case, what happened is that we have filed a number of extensions of the original permit, which the Zoning Board of Appeals has, after careful consideration and saying that you're not going to grant yet another extension, have granted those permits. The last time we were here was approximately a year ago, and as you said, the ZBA mandated that we provide a summary letter on or before June 30th of what activities had occurred during that first half of the year in 2016. That letter was written by my office and submitted to the ZBA. The activities that had occurred in 2016 include completion of work that was done under a number of existing units within the condominium complex, and we also started to do permitting and now have started, or we are substantially involved with the completion of the wastewater treatment plant. When we took over the project, the wastewater treatment plant was partially constructed, and DEP at the same time was telling Kimball Farm that their septic system was not in compliance. DEP ruled that because of the proximity of the two properties and the common ownership, that they would prefer to have a one system that would service both properties. My law firm represents approximately 850 condominium associations, and we have had a tremendous amount of interaction with DEP concerning condominium associations that have approximately 100 units. And the reason why we are involved with those is that the systems often don't work, or they don't work as well as they would if they were bigger systems. So I think that one of the reasons why DEP said that they wanted to aggregate the systems is because they work better if there is more affluent produced. So Kimball Farm spent approximately $150,000 on engineering costs for the creation of the system. The towns of Littleton and towns of Westford are in two different DEP jurisdictions, which complicated the permitting process, and as a result, the permitting took quite a long period of time. As of today, Kimball Farm has spent approximately $800,000 on the wastewater treatment plant of a an estimated total cost of completion, which will be $2 million. The wastewater treatment plant needs to be completed on or before April 29th, or Kimball Farm will not be able to open until such time it's been completed. For those of you who have driven down Route 110, you'll see a gigantic mound of dirt, which is one of 4 leaching fields that's abuts 495. So our position is that we have actually moved towards substantial completion of the permit. We have utilized this permit. We were unable to sell units within the complex until such time as the wastewater treatment plant is done. The wastewater treatment plant is not going to be completed until the end of April. So our first position is that we have utilized the permit, and if we've utilized the permit, I don't think that it's necessary to have the ZBA make a determination that we've utilized the permit. You could make an adverse determination, since I was asked to file a request for an extension of the permit. The alternative, we would be requesting an extension of the permit, and as town council will discuss with you, you do have the option to deny the request for the extension, but if you are going to be denying the request for the extension, there has to be good cause shown as to why you're denying the request for the extension. So that's where we fit, I guess, from an update as to where we stand time frame wise. That work we've done in the past year, work is underway. We can't sell units until such time as the wastewater treatment plant has been completed. And also, I should add that we have explored other development opportunities for this property while we're completing the wastewater treatment plant, and those include the construction of a active adult 55 and over apartment complex. Our negotiations have been marketed through Streamline Community Properties, which is a group just moved out of Russell Street. They've been in Russell Street for years, and they do active adult marketing of condominium and rental projects. So I don't know, Chris, if you want to add anything as to where we are standards-wise, or
Shall we read some other things into record and?
Sure, I'd love to have the opportunity to talk to the board about the standards that it ought to be applying.
If you want to do this before.
But I don't have an opinion as to when I would be the best for me to do that. If you'd like me to go now, happy to. Otherwise, I can wait until.
Why don't you hold on?
Sure.
I think we need you more at the end, telling us what we can and can't do, if that's okay.
Maybe at the beginning of your deliberation.
That would be.
So I don't want you to get
And
too far.
we'll make sure we get you in there where you can still
Could
respond.
I ask one question, though? In listening to the position statement made by the applicant who's not applying for anything, I'm a little confused about what the status is, and I think that do you have a request for an application for an extension in front of you?
No, we don't.
It doesn't, I saw one in writing, and I'd like to have town council opine as to whether that's an application or not, because I know town council relied on that application, and that extension application, and the date it was received, as being the basis for your needing to act on that request within 20 days. And if the request was never made, the 20 days never started, and I don't know why we're here tonight.